And you on. How's it going, ladies and gents? Gonna try and make a goblet. I'll say try being the operative word because, to be honest, I'm really not feeling it today. So, kind of hoping this might make me feel a little bit better. And if it doesn't, it'll end pretty damn quickly. That's all I got to say. It's just a warning at the start.
Yeah, that could be my life tomorrow too.
Well, we got a holiday here tomorrow.
What's that?
What's the holiday, Bob?
Martin Luther King.
Oh,
That's a name.
yeah. Well, they call it Human Rights Day now, or something like that.
Oh,
So
our calendar
it's
is
very androgynous.
yeah. Our calendar calls it Martin Luther King Day, but it is human rights. Somehow you got to be politically correct so much, and then you lose the meaning. We shouldn't lose the meaning, but sometimes we need to be reminded as to why we, made it a holiday.
Yeah. I think this past year, it's all been Martin Luther King Day every day.
Yeah.
It's been such a struggle, but I don't even want to get into that.
Oh, and I think we have the worst still to come.
Agreed.
Anything political mentioned, and I'll can it straight away. Just.
Right.
No, it's not political.
There's the first one to piss me off.
Can you do that? Ooh.
I don't know what it looks like. So.
You got a problem with the lathe, Jay?
No, he's okay.
I've got a problem with lots of things, Dr. Bob, and my lathe is one of them, yes. And at the moment, I don't have the money to go and buy a set of cheap friggin' Allen keys until Friday, so I can pull my tailstock apart and ungum it.
Yeah, that's a problem. What do you lose them, or you just get a really cheap set and then they lose their shape?
I've always just had odds and ends lying around, so and never the one to fit in here, you know. So.
They're metric, of course.
So it's a bit of a workout for me to turn my tailstock at the moment, to say the least.
Oh, you are gummed up. What on the screw drive?
Sorry?
Well, when you turn your wheel, that's basically a drive inside a big bolt.
Robbo's told me how to pull it apart and stuff, but like I said, I don't have the Allen key to take it apart at the moment, so I'll have to just bear it.
Jay, quick question.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Venmo?
No.
Okay.
What is it?
Venmo is a way of transferring money to different people. And I was wondering if somebody was in the UK or in Australia or in China or something like that, if Venmo was universal.
I'm not sure. I've never really heard of it, to be honest. I'll have to do a little bit of research and have a look.
PayPal?
Yeah, I've got a PayPal account.
But you can transfer money to PayPal around the world.
I wonder how much they take for the transfer.
Nothing. Oh, I think it's like 5 cents or something like that. Oh, it's not much. PayPal anyway. I think. Actually, Eva donated $2 the other day, and it didn't actually take any of that. So maybe it's got to be a certain amount before it starts. Tommy donated $60, and that only took, I think it was like 5 cents or something. Like, wasn't much.
Hey, I might have to look into PayPal. I did it maybe about, I don't know, 8-9 years ago, and it was a royal pain in the butt.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with you. Back then it was, but now it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it and see. But around here, I mean, if my stepdaughter needs to pay her phone bill, she just Venmos me the money and bada bing, bada boom.
Yep. Like an instant one kind of thing.
I think that's one that ties the banks together. But the PayPal, that's owned by, like, I think of the gentleman, he owns everything else now.
How you going, Mark? How you going, Sarge?
Howdy.
Hey, Sarge.
In my shop finally. Working on projects.
Well, that's good.
Yes. That's my motto for today.
I guess every day for everybody.
It is what it is. Agreed.
Yeah, my Savannah, she's been bugging me for months to get it cut out. So all I got left to do is get rid of some pencil marks, glue it together, and spray some clear coat sealant on it.
Have you been up in Rowan's room? You should go up there and see what project I'm doing. It's really kind of cool.
Be right back.
Okay, Jay, here's the challenge for the day. Make the goblet with only a skew.
Yeah. Well, PayPal says that they support transfer to Australia.
Huh.
They have 130 countries that they take care of.
Yeah, I have to do a little research into it.
Oh, by the way, hi, Dr. Bob. Hi, Blair. Hi, Mark. Guess I was being, and Jay. Hi, Jay.
Well, hi to you. But hopefully you weren't shunning us.
Nah, I was just lost in my head.
Hey, Mark, do you want to join the conversation? We'll send you a link.
No, I've already asked him, Blair.
Okay.
So he's shunning us.
Nah, he's
Just
not.
kidding.
He's
He's
in
probably
bed.
just. I was gonna say he's probably in bed or wadded up and doing something else. It's
He's not
understandable.
feeling it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, something crazy.
Yep.
What'd you think? It's gonna be cool. So is that just not digging in, Jay, or what?
No, the motor stops when the forcing a bit starts to get into the wood a bit. Just not
Yeah.
enough torque.
Are the belts, does the motor stop or the belt just stop?
The motor stops, but it's still going. But I've got to pull it back out to start it back up. So I've just put it up 2 speeds.
Ah, okay.
See if that helps it in any way. And I don't really care if it burns the inside. It can be a feature that I didn't have to do.
There you go.
Might last less than I thought.
Hey Jay, I'm gonna be that guy.
What guy?
Got the one that says, "Do you got anything else that you can throw on there and start different project?" Come back to that some other time if you can.
No, not. Wasn't really in the mood to begin with, to be honest. I thought it might brighten me up a little bit, but just error after error. It's like, yay, it's just build on top.
Hello, Lewis.
Oh, Lewis.
How you going, Lewis?
Greetings and salutations.
Greetings. Ah.
That's what I think of that piece of wood.
I must say, I've never seen a spindle lock like that.
It's because we had to make it.
Oh,
My lathe didn't come with one, so we made one.
Yeah, mine didn't come with one either.
We just drilled a hole straight through there, and then made
Yep.
sure we got the burrs out of there, so that when you put the
Back
drive
up.
spur in there, it doesn't get off center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
But,
did
yeah,
that
it works.
for you? Robo?
Robbo did it, but he brought his nice big chunky drill and stuff, and just went through it like butter.
Yeah.
Because everyone gets one of these with their lathe. So,
Oh, yeah. Knockout car.
ramrod.
Yeah.
You got a self-ejecting quill for the tailstock, or do you have to knock it out with a bar too?
That's the bar. I used to have a piece on the end that would stick up about 1/2 inch, and that was the softest, shittiest metal that it had on the end of there, and it broke off within like 2 months, I reckon. Of
Oh,
loading it.
yes.
They had a tiny little hole in the top here, and that's where that sat in there, and that was what you meant to do to undo your chuck and tighten it up. It was pathetic. It's like
Yes.
they made it out of tin or something.
I think one of my mini lathes that I loan out it's like that.
Yep.
Hello, Yappy.
How you going, Yappy?
Howdy, Yappy.
Greetings.
Anyone that's scared of cracks? I don't care. I'm still turning it.
Hey, you're the one in the blast zone.
That's right. I don't care. I'm still turning it. I've got glue, but stuff it. Just wingding it today.
Yeah, just a turn. No big whoop. Make it turn out whatever it's going to be. He says hello to everybody.
Hi.
Yappy says hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Lewis had gone to bed.
Well, thanks for coming in. Take it easy.
He just come in to give you a thumbs up and heading off to bed.
Cool. Thanks.
He's just stayed up late enough to do that.
Yep.
Is that part of that grapevine?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you can't call it wood.
No.
That's the odd part about it. At least technically you can't. It's a vine. It's
Jay?
not wood.
Jay Yappy says, Jay, if you hadn't milliput, you would have worked well with that crack. And I agree. I've never played with that stuff, but I wanna.
Did I say my crack announcement before Jappy came in? Did I?
I don't know.
If you don't like cracks,
Hey, crack kills.
That's right. And so do bum cracks.
yeah, kills eyesight.
Plumber's crack.
Yeah.
Do you have one of them every now and then, Blair? Plumber's crack.
Nope, I don't. Never have, never will.
Coin slot. Sorry, Blair's daughter. I keep forgetting there's a lady around.
Oh, but that's
She's
a,
got her
that's a,
earbuds in. I don't think she can hear.
yeah, that's
she's
an
wanting.
inside joke.
Thank you.
You got to be around a while before you catch it. Except if you ever worked on a construction site, then you know what it's all about.
Yep. It's
All right,
even worse
Yappy.
when you're driving a truck and you gotta look in your mirror, and every time you look back, all you see is the crack.
Just make you
Okay.
stop looking in that mirror, wouldn't it?
Well, you ain't got a choice because you gotta look to see where they want you to go. Forward, backwards, speed up, stop.
You
All
sure
right.
got a different definition of a plumber's crack than I learned.
No, just some pants.
No, it's the same plumber's crack. Unless we're in two different worlds of communication.
Yeah, I learned about it on a construction site when I was after I got out of the military. I worked as an electrician. I got a license quickly and young man and we had this plumber guy. He was a plumber, but he was always bending over, kneeling down to do all his work because most of the plumber's stuff, at least when they're putting in the piping in the kitchen and the bathroom, whatever, they're kneeling or bending over, and that's the plumber's crack, all right. Tell them to pull their pants up.
Yeah, that's the
Hey,
same crack.
Jay, sorry to interrupt. Robbo's in.
What was that?
Robbo is in. He's backstage.
Hey, you. What are you doing out here?
Good afternoon, folks.
Yes.
Hello, Robbo.
Howdy, Robo.
How come you're not using a roughing gouge on that, Jai? G'day, Yappy. G'day, Lewis. Not sure who else is in there.
Mark was in. I'm not sure he's still in.
He didn't know what to do, and I said he could come out of the gate. He didn't know if he could come out or not come out.
Listen, Sarge, I'm still on that bloody table. Am I allowed to get down now?
I don't know. The warden just came in. You better ask her. She's getting attacked by my German horse.
Oh,
Come here, Bo.
Jai, how come you're not using a roughing gouge on that?
Because I'm not. Because this isn't the first piece I attempted, and I got pissed off with that piece, so I'm putting this piece on, and
Yeah.
I'm just on it. Basically.
Was having tailstock problems with his
Yeah, I know. It needs a good clean out. Yeah, I'm not in a very good humour this afternoon either. At the moment.
Uh-oh.
Bloody Telstra and other utility companies, I tell you, they're giving me the horrors.
service problems?
Yeah, well, we changed NBN providers, right? And the phone and everything was supposed to be transported over. The phone number, because I've had the same phone number for 40 years. It's a business phone. They disconnected it and didn't bother telling me. Now it's going to take at least another week or two to have it reconnected. I've already been without it for 3 weeks so far. And it's going to cost me $30 because of their stuff up, which is really annoying the crap out of me. But not only that, on my mobile phone, they've dropped off Message Bank and everything else and put it to some bloody thing. And nobody can leave messages or anything else. So I'm not happy.
No.
Hey,
Wow.
Chris.
G'day, Chris.
I
Howdy,
bet you
Chris.
can't sue them for loss of business.
Uh,
At least
I don't
here
know.
you can.
They'd only laugh at you.
There you go, Chris.
Now, Jay, before you take that out, make sure that you square that shoulder up to the tenon. It's got an angle on it. It's got to be slightly undercut or dead square. And of course, getting up at 3:30 this morning probably didn't do my sense of humour much good either.
Yeah, that's
Well,
no
we
good.
appreciated you having you at our meeting.
Oh, that's all right. I enjoy your meetings.
Well, I found it
Hey,
was
Rob.
really nice having not only you, but Cade.
Yeah. No, that's the problem around here, Sarge. It ain't what it is.
I know.
It's
It's
what it
just-
should
That's
be.
what I'm working on. I know. Same here. They do the same crap here too. No, I wasn't trying to make fun of you. I'm just showing you what I'm working on. It just happened to be
No, I
that.
know. Yeah, I know that. It's all right. Trust me, Sarge, if I was offended, I'd tell you to shove it up where the sun don't shine or to piss you off.
Wouldn't be the first time somebody's ever told me that. My poor sunshine gets a lot of abuse.
Yep. One bloke turned around to me once and said, "It won't fit," and I said, "I'll make it."
Square peg, round hole.
Yeah.
Well, in a way, that's in the machining business, that'd be a broach, a very dull broach, but it always amazed me when I saw a broaching machine work. And a friend of mine had to make a square hole, and he had a broach set that fit it, and I just was in amazement. Take a round hole and make it square.
Yep. You want to see some of the ones I've seen in machine shops are 3 or 4 inches wide, and they were for flattening off big cast iron tables. Had a stroke of about 13 to 14 feet on them.
Oh, I've seen those on YouTube videos from how factories had worked. I get a kick out of some of the YouTube videos on big machinery, and it was done. They're government training videos. We get them here. I don't know. You probably don't. But yeah, and they've all made to train people back in the 40s.
Yeah, there's a whole series on army training ones, I think, and I have to laugh. Like assembling a Jeep, and what else was there? Putting up prefab huts or something it was, and various other bits and pieces.
Yeah, like the GP tents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always enjoy those. I find them intriguing on how people used to do it, and then you look today, they're doing the same thing. And then later on, now they're doing it with a laser, or they're cutting it with a torch, automated torch CNC today.
All right, Yappy. We'll catch you later. He's headed off to bed. Or off to get ready for work, sorry. He's off to get ready for work.
All right, see you later, Yappy.
See you, Yappy. Thanks for coming in.
Take care.
Ta-ta.
Oh, we're very polite today, aren't we? Hmm?
Well, look
Must
at
be the
painting.
photo. Must be the painting he's under. No.
Must be.
I don't know. I'm feeling very French today.
Oh, I thought it was very British, actually.
You got the wrong
Right,
hat
Governor?
on. You need a beret.
If it had been, turn around to the side, Blair. A beret always goes off to the side, generally the left. That's it.
Looks like a wannabe gangster now. Sorry.
I don't know, Marine Special Forces.
Oh, no, you didn't. That's the Green Berets, and Airborne Rangers and stuff. But then again, I guess now all the Army, or a lot of the Army's wearing the berets. The Air Force is running around in baseball caps.
Yeah. That was Green Berets that rescued me for being a POW. I was so glad to see them, but it was the middle of the night and they came in with flashbangs. All I remember is some
Black
big,
bag.
heavy guy came up and he said, "This is the back of my belt. Hold on to it. Don't let go. Follow me wherever I go. Period. If you let go, I can't come back and get you." I held on for dear life.
Yeah.
And then he grabbed me by the legs and the back of my neck and actually threw me into a helicopter. Slid me across the floor and said, "Stay," like a dog. "I'll be back."
Oh, it wasn't Arnie, was it?
That was Marine.
No, it was Chuck Norris.
So they had 4 choppers come in to rescue everyone from the POW camp, and blow the ever loving out of the camp. Took us to a hospital tent somewhere. I don't know where. They wouldn't tell us. We were there for 3 weeks before we could actually go back to our own home base. But they were there taking care of us. We were dehydrated. And of course, worse yet, whatever you ate or drank went in one end, out the other almost instantly because of all the microbes that were in the water and in the food.
Yeah,
Hey,
Chris
Dr.
wants to know
Bob, Chris
where.
is asking you, have you written a book?
Not allowed to. I don't know. I had to sign paperwork because it was all classified. But I have talked about it at VFW meetings.
What's your status on official Secrets Act? Ours is only 30 years for certain things.
Yeah, there's got to be a certain statute of limitations, Bob.
I don't know. I'll have
I
to.
think, like you said, it depends on what it is, but I think 30 years is pretty darn close.
Well, I know my stuff that I did for Senator Church. I got an official notice in the mail that most of it was cleared about 10 years ago. And that was when I worked and did some stuff with a weatherman at the time. And that was right after I got out of Vietnam.
Well, if anything, I think maybe I've told you this before. You should be writing it down anyway, just for future, for your grandkids and all of that. And they can say, yeah, this was my grandpa, this is my dad.
Yeah. Don't have any kids. That being a POW stopped that. When you end up with a cattle prod hitting you certain places to get you to talk, you're kind of fried.
That just made my stomach hurt. Oof.
The Khmer Rouge were not friendly people.
Robo, you better turn your radio down before Jay gets clip through his video.
Yeah, I'll go and do that.
Just say it.
Yeah, it's all classic. It's all classic music anyway.
I know. It's good music, but.
What's the time anyway? It must be about a cup of tea time, I'd reckon. Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, I'll go and put the kettle on as well. I'll be back in a few minutes.
All righty.
All right.
Jay, Amber should be coming out anytime for a cuppa for you. Or some lunch or something.
What was that?
Amber should be coming out anytime to give you a cup of tea or coffee or lunch.
No, not today.
Oh.
Maybe not tomorrow either, or the next day for that matter.
Oh.
What'd you do?
Oh. He just shut himself off.
I don't know if depression.
Oh,
We
here
were
he comes.
talking about that earlier.
He's back.
I appreciate it, but discussed online, to be honest.
That was weird.
If anyone wants to talk about it, they can talk to me offline about it, because I'm not discussing it online.
All right.
Okay. Yep.
It's nothing I've done, but it's affecting me, so I'm not going to talk about it. It's just going to piss me off.
Okay.
Okay.
No
Conversation
worries.
done.
No worries. We ain't doing that. Yep. So, Blair, are you working on anything?
I have my live tomorrow, and I'm just
Cool.
hoping that I can pull it off. I've never made one before, and so it's going to be interesting.
Never made a live or never made what you're fixing to make?
Never made what I'm fixing to make.
Okay, cool.
No practice, eh?
No practice. It doesn't look that hard, but you never know.
Right.
Yeah, Bailey, it is. But the thing is after the post Vietnam era, well, during the Vietnam era, we had a lot of problems in this country too, like we're seeing right now. It was an interesting period of time I didn't want to ever live through again. We're in the midst of it.
Man, sorry about that, Dr. Bob. I know not to make light of it, but you always hear the same thing. History repeats itself. You may not like it, and people may not like it.
Well,
And like I said, I'm not.
before any of you were born, the Columbia River Gorge, that's the border between Washington and Oregon, the Columbia River, a group of people, actually, it was part of what I was involved with, reported. It's the fact that it took a milk truck, the type they run around between the dairies to pick up milk. And they had hijacked a milk truck, and they had, from the early mining days, people used mercury to separate gold. And how the miners in the West would store their mercury was that they would blast out and dig out a big stone pit in their mine that was solid stone, and they would store the mercury in it. That way they could pump it out and use it. And they used what they called a stamping mill, just hammers up and down to break the stone up to get gold out of it, because it was fine gold. And then they would take and cook it down in mercury. And they didn't realize how bad mercury was. But there was a lot of these big mercury vats left out there that people didn't know about. And a group of the weathermen pumped a big milk truck that, I forget the dairy, but they stole it from the dairy, and they pumped it into the Columbia River to poison the water system for Portland. And they had no filters. Portland actually had to turn their public water off and then put the filters in, and it took a while to get them, and it was a real problem. And this was internal insurrection, but they wanted to show that the power, and they did that. And I knew about it and had reported it, knew when it was going to come, where they were going to do it, and the highway they were going to be on, and about where. and they purposely picked between bridges that went across the river between Idaho at that time and Oregon, where they were going to be able to pull up on the Oregon side, and nobody could get to them to stop it. It would take at least an hour once somebody would report it that this was happening, an hour to get to them. And they were good. They were right. The only problem is when our feds showed up to stop them, they were on the Idaho side of the river. And their
Idaho or Washington?
wouldn't go across to Oregon or Washington. On the Washington side, they were shooting like mad, and the others were waving and laughing and doing other stuff. They just kept pumping the mercury in the river, and it just put the oil on the river. And animals downriver, as you went to the ocean, they had to go back something like 2 miles and refence the farmers' fields because the mercury got into the grass. And if the cattle ate it or they harvested it, the mercury was in the cells, so you couldn't even eat it. Anything that they grew, it stopped that. And worse yet, that's a big area for tobacco. And the tobacco crop all was sucking up the mercury, and the tobacco people got out there, and luckily enough, they had most of it harvested and hung to dry, but they lost a lot of that. And that was one of the tactics the weathermen did. That's what they call themselves. It's insurrection. And it really,
Effie's in. Hello, Effie.
really upset me. I mean, there was 4 of us work on that. We told them when, where, how, and why. And they didn't know the side of the river.
Hello, Effie.
Greetings.
I used to live on the Columbia River.
Beautiful river. Been kayaking on it many a time.
Yeah, it is.
Fishing on
It's
it.
pretty.
But they said it would take 20 years, between 18 and 20 years, to flush the mercury out of it completely. And then the soil would still have it in a lot of the soil first. They said a short time, probably 100 years or so. But the only thing the farmers could do, according to the EPA and other people at the time, is to take and plow under all of their fields that were affected by the mercury, and do it at least twice a year. Go in there and do it, hoping that the mercury would sink down far enough so as the topsoil would clean itself enough so they could grow stuff in it that was edible. But that's what the weathermen did. They didn't attack they did attack a few other places. Portland saw them with a march.
Hello, Effie. How are you going?
But that's part of history you don't learn in school today at all. Not even people that live out there. But I was 20 at the time, 2021, when that all went on. That's when I worked for Senator Church and Congressman Ted Stevens.
Oh, that's not good. What have you been eating? Effie's got a stomach ache.
Chris says, I think I saw a documentary about the weathermen, domestic terrorists, right?
Correct. Just like we're seeing today. Same, only different. To me, that's what's so depressing because I remember those days personally, and I knew a lot of them. And they were national. That's the scary part. They even took 55-gallon drums of sodium cyanide that's used in metal industry. And remember someone doing research, trying to figure out what size hole or how they should put holes in them so they would leak into the water supply. And they figured out it would size holes, and another whole group had done it, and they were bragging about it after the fact at a get-together. And they put it in the water reservoir for the city of Denver. Just drove up to it, rolled them off the back of the pickup truck, and they sunk.
Wow.
They never did rust through because somebody kind of informed the people to go diving and find it. But it were pretty close when they found them, and then they put barbed wire fence around the reservoir because in those days you'd never think of doing that. Who would want to poison a whole city of Denver? Especially they were Americans, and you wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't think.
But they did. And they weren't just the Pacific Northwest either. And that's what bothers me, though I have flashbacks of that more and more after the big riot or whatever in DC. I haven't had a good night's sleep from flashbacks. You know, you try to forget about it, but it's hard. For me, it's hard to think that somebody would want to do it.
Whoa, that one hit the ground, Sarge. You
Are you
renovating
throwing
there,
wood
are you?
again, Sarge?
What's that?
He's practicing tossing the caver, that's what it is.
I didn't know he was Scottish.
He's changing nationality.
You ever try that, Robo?
No, thanks.
Big, when you were younger.
No. I reckon they're crazy. No, I just turn stuff like that, that's all.
That's
I'll
starting to
tell you-
look really good, Jay.
That vine is pretty. Have to admit.
I'll tell you, it's an
Sorry.
ongoing problem, is it, Effie? With the stomach aches on me. Is that the
Yeah,
other
I
half
know.
of that? Is that the other half of that gum tree, Jay, from yesterday?
No, it's grapevine.
Oh, it's the grapevine again, is it?
Sorry, Jay, I didn't know you were unmuted.
No, you're right. We're good.
Ah, that's a bit tough, Effie. Jeez.
Are you telling us how old you are now, Effie?
She must have started taking them when she was, what,
Still a
4?
baby.
Yeah. You guys ever clean out a dresser or a box and you find something in it that brings back fond memories? I did. A project I worked on a long time ago. And it was really intriguing. It's called lenticular art. I don't know if you've ever seen anything like it. Probably have today, where you can actually, as you rotate it, it changes.
Oh, yeah, those 3D cards, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
lenticular art. I helped work on the development of lenticular art. And I, for a year and a half, almost 2 years, myself and Terry, roommate here, that I've known since he was just turned 21. Uh, I got him involved in a few other people. I didn't invent it at all. It's just that we
Oh, you're still a young chicken yet, Effie.
we took and did bank cards out of with lenticular art, and I really enjoyed it. And actually wrote a software program, and we would sell the plastic, and you could actually with a printer print your own lenticular art. You'd take 3 pictures, run them in a computer PC, and it would strip them down to the scripts that go in here, put them in the right order. You'd line them up, and you could do your own. And then we got in trouble because the the there wasn't the there was several patents on them supposedly around the world, but they were all in contention because others had been filed ahead of them, and then they found that it actually went back several hundred years. Uh, so they were always in court over it, and then it became a big fad. You saw them on cereal boxes, packaging, whatever. Then they kind of disappeared because they were old hat. And I come across a whole bag of samples that we did the other day and cleaning out a dresser. Well, Effie's just a youngin'.
Yeah. Little chickie babe.
I must say, Jay, you're really doing that up right. Going to get a high gloss before you're done. But they deserve it, those vines. Do you know why, Robo? The vine seems to be typical because I've got about 100 foot of the vine from a neighbor's house that had been growing around it for 25 years. After he passed away, the people that bought the house cut it down. And I like the way the light and dark, it twists because it twists to match where the sun was at that time, because that caused it to twist so that the leaves of the vine would catch the sun, and that's why they grow with that twist. But it's the only wood, if you call it a wood, that I know that does that. But every arborist I've talked to keeps saying it's not a wood, it's a vine. Vines
Yeah.
aren't wood. It's a flower. Okay.
I'll be back in a minute. I've got to make a phone call.
Righto.
There it is, all sealed up. Ready to go.
That's pretty. Nice job.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, let's see it now. He's
Put it back up
highlighted
there
it.
again.
That's why I kind of stood there.
Is that
You
cedar?
took it away just as I made you big.
Yeah,
It's nice.
this is aromatic cedar, and this is some reclaimed one by material.
Yeah, that looks nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. And cedar's such a nice wood to work with.
Yeah, it is. I love working with the cedar. Most
Western
of my
red
ce-
cedar is used for kayak paddles quite a bit. Northern western red cedar,
Right.
because it's durable and it'll take some of the flex for paddling. You pay a premium for that paddles too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Now you have to charge double for that. How many of those do you have to make up for people?
Just one. I can give it to my daughter and she can take it to school.
It's an attitude sign.
Yeah.
How's that for the teacher or the principal?
Hey, Sarge, Chris is asking you, how did you do the words?
I did it on Cricut Design. They're Comic Sans. And I just did capital, small all the way through. Spaced them out to where they looked.
Did you do that with
What's
a
that?
scroll saw?
Yeah, I cut it with scroll saw. Yeah.
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 I'm not sure if that's what Chris was asking or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I cut it on scroll saw. I just did my design on Cricut Design Space.
What's that?
It's used to cut decals and cardstock and different materials. It's kind of like a mix between CNC and a printer.
Okay. Bit like a have you heard of a circuit cut machine?
A circuit cut,
Yeah.
CRI cut.
I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's very similar to a printer, but in looking like one. And you can put stuff in it, and it cuts decals and stuff out, like cuts the wording out perfectly. And
Yeah, I think we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Here's they call it Cricut, but
okay.
I think we're talking about the same thing. I'll look for a
Yeah.
link and post it in the comments.
Yeah, they're made in China, so different countries probably do the same thing, add their own
Right.
name. But what's neat about the company that does it, Cricket, is that my sister does cakes, commercial wedding cakes, the expensive stuff. And they come out one now that actually cut icing. You put sheet icing in of certain thicknesses, it'll actually cut it out as it goes through. And then they take it apart and she can roll what's left up, roll it out and put it through again and use it over and over again for different types of stand-up characters.
Bob, I think that's called rolled fondant.
Yes,
Yeah, fondant.
it's a fondant, yes. To me, it's an icing. I've heard her talk about it.
It basically is.
It's a disgusting tasting icing.
Yeah, I hate the stuff.
Yeah. Ditto.
What surprised me going to some of the cake shows, because she teaches it, and they have a national one often in Virginia, Northern Virginia, just across the border from the district, DC. And you see all these fancy cakes, and they've had them out there with all of the decorations. And then they lock the building up and go home and have their guard come back the next day, and you still got all these cakes. And it's like, hey, Martha, won't that go bad? I mean, that's cakes. No, they're called cake dummies.
Yeah.
Underneath, there's no cake dough in there. And then she was showing me, like the wedding cake she turned out was like 6 big layers. I showed me a picture. I said, that's a lot of people to eat that. No, the top layer is bride and groom, and they freeze it. So you got to make it fits in a freezer. And then the next 3 or 4 layers, depending upon the crowd, is real cake. And then the rest is just nothing but cake dummies.
Yeah.
When you're done,
Well, they do
peel the fondant off, throw it away, and use them again.
They do that for the Marine Corps birthday ceremonies too. They'll only have just the one edge being actual real cake, and the rest of it would just be display, dummy cake as you called it. And then when they cut the slices off for the oldest Marine, the youngest Marine, and the guest of honor, the rest of it's just junk. Then they'll have a real cake in the background that cuts up for everybody to have.
You can't have a pretty woman coming out of a cake that you got to eat out of a.
Yeah, that popped my bubble. When I heard that and she was explaining it to me, I'm sitting there. That's a fraud. No, we're just keeping the decorations aren't going to stay. You can't eat them.
Someone's found a way to make money off of fake icing.
Well, you think of all the waste. And the other problem is if you use some of the real icing that you can eat, it can go bad. And you got to keep it refrigerated. And unless you're a big old bakery that have the big refrigerators, it don't work. She just does all the fancy stuff for her cakes that she gets asked to do, and everything just goes on a shelf and it's covered up so as it keeps the dirt off. That's all. You couldn't eat it if you wanted to. You'd probably break a tooth once it gets set up.
Now, Chris, on this one here, I didn't do the tracing. I actually took my my printout and stuck it to the wood, and then I took some pressing seal and pressed over top of it to kind of hold it down, and then you just drill out your holes for the inside cuts, and you cut it out. Then you can peel the paper off, and it's ready to go. But yeah, I have done the transfer. It depends on how big the pattern is and whether or not I can scan it into my regular scanner and put it on my computer for future uses.
you buy the cricket for yourself, or is it used by
No, it's my
your
wife.
wife?
It's my wife's. Matter of fact, she's got 3 of them. She's got a Cricket Explorer, Cricket Air 2, and the Cricket Maker. The Cricket Maker's got a knife that's supposed to be able to cut real thin wood. I mean, like real thin, like less than 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah. Well, they use
But then
that
she
for
can
the
also,
fondant too.
yeah. The letters are cut out of 3/4 inch thick. On this one, 3/4 inch thick piece, or actually, no, I take that back. This is 1/2 inch thick. 1/2 inch thick piece of aroma cedar. And it just takes practice, Chris.
Do you use a spiral blade or a straight blade?
Mostly I use straight blades. I've done a little bit with spirals, but not too much.
I moved to them a few years ago. I just had trouble getting into fine corners and snapping blades.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't get quite the, in my experience, I don't get quite the straight edges. Like this one here, this was too big to scan, so I had to put it on and put carbon paper behind it and copy each individual line, all the little fretwork up in their mask, shoulders, and everything.
That's great. You're quite an artist.
Well, thank you.
Well, as they say, a Marine can do anything.
Yep. We do
I'll
more
tell you,
with
I'd
less.
trust my life to a Marine any day. I'm serious. As long as they have an honorable discharge, I trust my life with them any day.
Right.
And you know, something that I won't say surprised me, but years ago I was, as a lifetime member of the VFW,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Veterans of Foreign Wars. We'd always have on Veterans Day parades, and we'd have a lot of Marines that would come out too as vets and support. And I noticed more and more the fire departments here around in Michigan, if they had Marines, that would be on their, what do they call it, jacket? The fireproof coat they put on, turnout coat.
Oh, yeah, the turnout coach, yeah.
It would be on the turnout coat as a badge, a patch.
Right.
Because so many people knew what that patch meant. There wasn't any question in any military person's mind. If you see a Marine there, you know you're going to be all right. It's just the way it's been. And that's a reputation, I think, that the Corps has held on to. Even though they don't like to be part of the Navy, but they are.
Right.
But that's a little dark secret.
Yeah, well, we're the men's department.
Yeah, the Seabees, they're another Navy department you don't want to mess with.
No. No, the dirt sailors.
Yep. And there's a lot of Marines that were Seabees.
Yeah.
In cross training, at least in the Nam era.
Hello, Shay.
Hey, Shay.
G'day, Shay.
Greetings.
How you going, Shay? Someone
Yeah.
can send her a link if they want.
Yeah, I'll post it in the chat.
Yeah, Bailey's got a turn in.
Thanks for coming in, Chris. See you later.
Yeah, see you later, Chris.
See ya, Chris.
Sarge, do you wax your table?
Yes, I do. I use Minwax. Oh, dadgummit. I use Minwax on my table.
Yeah, that's what I have on mine. But I found I put that on my bandsaw tables too.
Yeah,
It,
I use it on my cabinet saw table.
Yeah, my table saw, my lathe ways. I always use it on the lathe. It makes a. People say, "Oh no, you can't do that because your tailstock won't lock in place; it'll slip." No, I have not had that problem. Keeps it from rusting, and it's easy to move the anything that you have on there. Then if you spill paint, whatever on it or finish on it on the lathe bedways, if it's waxed, it just comes right off.
Right.
Good morning, Robbo.
Hey?
It looked
No,
like you were asleep.
I'm busy reading shit. I've got stuff all over my desk at the moment.
I was going to say, I know he was here earlier and he just stepped off.
Yeah, went to make a phone call and then snuck back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, got quotes and stuff I'm doing documentation on, and I've got to do a few objects for a totally green building, and they've got to get the provenance of all the timber. I've got to know where it came from, where it was grown, when it was milled, when it was this, when it was that.
Oh,
Geez, tell you what, they paid an extra $200 just because of the paperwork.
what you making for the building?
It's little seat sort of things. They're all turned, but they've got to know where the timber came from, and
The provenance, yeah.
yeah, which is the
Find
pain
out what
in the
kind
neck.
of bugs are in.
Sorry?
To find out what kind of bugs that it may have in it.
No, it's not for that. It's got to be assured that it's a sustainable timber and it's not covered under sites and all sorts of weird and wonderful crap.
Right.
Is that for tax purposes or?
No, it's so's the building gets a total green rating. Like,
And what's that for PR purposes?
well, no, partly I don't know that, but this building actually recycles all the toilet water and everything itself.
Yeah, sounds like PR for some bureaucracy.
So,
Hey guys, I'm gonna step on out. I'm gonna go watch a movie with my girls.
all right.
All right, Blair.
See you
No
guys.
worries, Blair.
Catch you
See you
tomorrow
later.
night.
Keep smiling, Jay.
See you later, Blair.
Well, he's doing a number on that vine. Been watching that.
Oh yeah. Shay says green building are crazy, and yes, it's intense to do stuff for them.
Yep, that's right. I've done a few over the years.
Well, another. Go ahead.
They're interesting buildings to go into because they're basically all completely self-sufficient.
Right.
Like this one, they're trying out a solar film on the windows, so that actually all the north-facing windows are actually producing electricity all at the same time to power the building. And there's passive air systems in them, no air conditioning or anything like that. It's all heat sinks and airflow and stuff through the building.
I saw a special sometime during the lockdown on a big skyscraper, fantastic skyscraper in Dubai, and that they were experimenting with and putting in windows, and they were translucent photo panels to generate electricity as the sun hit them. You could look out. Some were clear, but a lot of them were translucent. And then they were talking about that they generate heat. So the panel behind the translucent windows in areas of the building, because it's an all glass building, that was like from your waist level down in the building, on the inside, you didn't see anything except a fancy wall of some type. But they still had the glass, but on the inside, they had other items. They had solar panels tied to them also, along with picking up the electricity coming in from the light. But the ones below were for picking up, for being able to heat water that's used in the restrooms on that floor.
Yeah, well, that's what this thing's got too. It's like I say, it's all self-sufficient. It's got passive pumping of water and various other things, and they've got a huge arboretum, I suppose you'd say, so it cleans its own air and everything.
Mm.
Fascinating when you get into it, but geez.
The logistics on the construction parts are pain in the rear.
Oh yeah. Like, I don't think I spoke to any contractor on site that was happy.
You wonder if the ROI is worth it, other than PR, just purely financial ROI.
Tell you another pain in the rear when it comes to construction is doing concrete on state highways here. Man, you talk about all the red tape and figures and stuff like that. You got to have the sand from a certain spot. It's got to be a certain consistency. You got to have the cement and the ash and the whole 9 yards, all calculated by the state.
Yep. We do here, but even labor's force is controlled.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and every so many yards, they got to take test cylinders, and they'll send them off, and they'll find out the braking strength of them. If the mix is supposed to be 8,000 psi, if it don't break within that parameters of 8,000, then the concrete's no good.
That's right.
You don't find out for you don't find out for a month.
That's right. Yeah. By then you've laid 2 miles of road.
Right.
Yeah.
We were doing one here on a bridge, and we had to do the sidewalk, kind of like the Jersey wall along there, the wall. And we got through the first couple trucks, and the air chemicals didn't match up. And by the time that they got after that third truck, they said, nope, this whole thing's got to be trashed. So we had to get rid of 24 yards of concrete.
Yeah.
And it couldn't go in the river. So we had to push it off the side, blow it off the side, wash it off the side. It had to be on the gravel to where they go up there and scoop it up. Go ahead, Jay.
Hey?
Go ahead. You just unmuted yourself.
I've had enough.
Have you?
You're going to join the rest of us sitting down, are you?
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Get a drink and join us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would
Yeah,
say
Jay,
out of the stuff
in
I've
your
done,
life- Jay, have you had any interesting jobs?
Sorry?
Have you had any interesting occupations or jobs that you've done for money?
No. No. I was an industrial cleaner, and that was it. And then I killed my back, and then that was the end of anything.
Okay. Like you cleaned out boilers and power plants and sewers?
No.
Or what?
Chicken factories.
ooh,
Oh,
The nice clean stuff, you know?
oh yeah.
you went to the dirt.
Yeah, I did. No, I did poultry factories mainly, and I did a little bit of cleaning for Holden's GM when they were here, and when they used to be only like 5 k's up the road from me. So I did a bit of work for there. Got a big paint. It's an automated paint system, and it's got like a torrent that runs underneath of it. And they got like these metal grids that go across, and that's what the cars roll across when they're getting sprayed. So all the paint falls in the water and stuff like that. We had to clean all those grids, like walk across beams that were, like a couple of inches across, walk across them, pick up these giant metal grids, and go down 7 flights of stairs, so we could high pressure hose them and then carry them up 7 flight stairs again.
Sounds like bad industrial design.
Yeah, that's our 1 horse town for you.
Well, it's not that. It's the engineer an architect that designed it that way. They should be made to work in one to see what it's like. They wouldn't design it that way again.
No, and you have to wear one of those suits that covers you. You can only see your face, and that's it, and your hands sticking out. But other than that, no, not really. I'm a dead shit.
No, nobody is that unless you're laying in a coffin.
And then you maggot food.
Yeah, but you can never say that you're dead. It makes no sense. That's a defeatist. I felt that way as a POW, and I'll tell you, it's a horrible depression to get out of.
No, it's not me. Like I said, I'm not discussing it on live, but
Well, you can kill the live, and we can still sit here and talk.
where'd Sarge go? Say goodbyes.
No, he's still here. He's mucking around in the background there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm here. I was just trying to make sure I didn't break everybody's eardrums.
I already done that.
Huh?
Yeah, see? You did it for yourself, you bloody whacker.
All
When
day,
you bounce
every
it.
day.
when you bounce that bit of timber around the room.
Yeah. All right, say
Turn the
goodbye
live
to everybody in the chat. You can stay in here, but I'm just gonna turn the live off.
All right, see you later, everybody. That's
Yeah.
on the chat.
Tomorrow.
Yep.
Good to see
See
one
y'all
person.
later.